A very warm welcome to all the spooks and spectres turning into the stream. As always, it's me, your host, and tonight we're going to be diving in head first into the world of the supernatural, live and unedited, with only the occasional spooky sponsorship break. All my long-time viewers will know that today is Spectral Spotter's 3-year anniversary, and just like always, I've got something special to kick off the new year of paranormal investigation. Tonight, we won't be dropping by any of our usual haunts, or even trekking to a new site. This case is going to take place right here in my own home, because tonight, we are going to contact, captivate, and maybe even contain the infamous Cyber Wraith. That's right. Although there is quite a bit of discourse on whether or not the Cyber Wraith is truly a ghostly spirit or simply a rather convincing program. I'm completely confident in the etherealness of these claims. As I hope many of you have seen, my good friend the Apparition Observer recently released a video attempting to interact with the Cyber Wraith, and came to the conclusion that the ghost was simply elaborate malware designed to get a little attention. That being said, I'm not entirely convinced that we in the ghost hunting community can just write this one off. So, I've pulled out all the usual stops, plus a few extra aids, in the hopes of getting an in-house appearance from our special guest. So, without further ado, let's pull out our EMF readers, break out our Ouija boards, and strap in for a bumpy night, because the search for the Cyber Wraith starts now. Alright, to catch any new viewers up to speed, the Cyber Wraith is a relatively new paranormal claim. This blog site, link pinned in the comments, started receiving messages from an unknown source claiming to be a long-time user of the network. But, in addition to various public messages about their own death, journeying to and from the afterlife, and general threats of violence, the Cyber Wraith has been documented affecting the computers of anyone who directly messages it. In addition to that, there are rumors floating around that the Cyber Wraith can actually manifest when it so chooses. So, I've backed up all my files, cleared any sensitive information from my PC, and firewalled my Wi-Fi connection to hell and back, which means I'm ready to send a DM. Now, before I send this, I want to make one thing clear. Not only is actual malware no joke, but hostile spirits can also be very dangerous. I have made some large efforts to stay safe, whether it be from phishing scams or phantom attacks. So, while I never ask my watchers not to try this at home, I must insist that you take necessary precautions and triple check your work before you attempt to contact any spirits, technological or otherwise. Okay, with that out of the way, let's send a message. Hi, my name is... I run a little ghost hunting show. I'd love to talk with you if you would be up for it. Nice. We got a quick response. A few hunters have gone hours without getting so much as anything, so it's nice to make some early headway. Yes, I run Spectral Spotters. You're actually live right now. Anything to say to the camera? It looks like the Cyber Wraith is a fan of the show, or has already managed to crack into a little bit of the info I've intentionally left on this device. Don't worry if it's the second one. I've implanted plenty of faulty facts on my computer, so we can see if this is just a program reading integrated files. Ooh, can everyone see that? The Cyber Wraith just responded to me speaking. Now, the Apparition Observer, who frankly knows a lot more about computer stuff than me, thought this could prove that the malware can utilize the microphone in my monitor, but I'm feeling optimistic. So, I guess that means I don't have to type any other messages anymore, right, Cyber Wraith? Yeah, I'll take that as a yes. First things first, as far as I can tell, you've never referred to a name for yourself, or much of an allusion to gender identity. Are you okay with being called the Cyber Wraith? Or is there a better name I can call you? You're not responding very quickly. Is it a touchy subject, or... Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. So many hunters don't make an effort to ask for formalities. But I hadn't considered I'd be the first. That's absolutely fine. Lots of spirits have a hard time recalling details from their past life. If you can't remember a preference, then I can just keep calling you Cyber Wraith. Maybe I could even give you a nickname. Well then, I'd be glad to oblige. Now, on to the meat of the interview. You talked about how you died on multiple occasions. Would you be willing to run us through it? Do you think that's what's keeping you tied to the mortal plane? Or are you more of a wandering type of ghost than an unfinished business type? That's good to hear. I'm glad you've come to terms with it, even if that was admittedly a little gruesome. Honestly, I think I'd hold a bit of a grudge. Ever since you messaged me, I've been picking up a dull reading on my electrometer. Is that background static, or are you actually on my side of the network? It's totally okay if you don't know. I imagine you haven't had a massive interest in a conclusive study on the subject. Really, I'm just looking for a segue to my next point. Well, there are plenty of rumors, some more stable than others, that you've influenced objects in the real world and even manifested in the visible light spectrum. Do any of those rumors have some validity? Right! You said as much with Observer, but when prompted you didn't want to manifest on the spot. Observer thought it was because you couldn't. But looking through all the footage, it seems more like you were just overwhelmed. Maybe even a little angry that Observer was being so dismissive. So, I was hoping you'd be a little more open to it now, especially with what I've set up for you. Can you see my room right now? Then I'm sure you've noticed this very suspicious sheet. And now that I'm sure everyone watching is tearing their hair out about it, it's time to reveal what's beneath. Ta-da! A custom-designed haunting doll, complete with old-timey copper wiring, various simple computer systems I looted from old consoles, and, hopefully, a semi-functional possession entity. I was hoping that if you were up for it, you'd let me plug in the doll and you could start to take it for a spin. Then you could lift up a pencil or pose for some pictures on my stream, and get to stretch a pair of legs for once in who knows how long. Does that sound good to you? You're worried? About what? Oh, I totally see why you might think that, but I promise I have no intention of trying to catch you or anything like that. The show is called Spectral Spotters for a reason. I never capture sentient ghosts, only relocate the ones who ask, and do my best to detain the ones who present an active threat. Yes, I've heard the rumors of you reportedly becoming violent, but not only do I have no real proof of those, I suspect that if any of them were true, they were likely caused by a string of negligent actions taken by the hunters. With how you've interacted with me today, I'm not in the slightest bit worried about any of that. I want to emphasize that you don't have to do this. For starters, if you just did a couple of tricks through the screen, that would be just as good for my livestream as you possessing the doll. And even if that would be too much, I would never hold it against you. I'm the one sliding into your DMs. I'm not about to start making demands. Really? You'd like to try it out? Great! Just give me a second, I'll plug it straight in. There. It's all yours. Whoa, easy there. Your skeletal system is mostly plush, so quick movements might not be for the best. Got a handle on it? Oh, I hadn't even considered you'd be unable to message me while possessing the doll. I'll try keeping the questions on a yes-no basis. While you're getting the hang of tangible existence, I'd like to take a moment to plug my Patreon. I know, no one likes brand integration, but donations from specters and spooks like you are what keep the show going. If you'd be willing to pop into the description, you may like the sound of some of the rewards from upper Patreon tiers, such as pre- and post-stream footage, VODs of every stream I've ever made, and exclusive repeat interviews with some fan-favourite ghosts. And if that sort of donation isn't to your speed, you could also check my Linktree to keep an eye on current Spectral Spotters merch, ranging anywhere from socks to hoodies to my personal selection of ghost detecting equipment. Alright, sponsorship section is over. Wraith here is looking a little antsy about all this, and honestly, who could blame them? But before we sign off, I would love to get a little movement on tape, assuming you're up for it. Thank you so much. I owe you one. Now, I've got some pens that shouldn't be too heavy and some paper right here, in the hopes to prove that you aren't just a motor system shoved into a doll. Could I ask you to draw something for the stream? Whatever you'd like, although it'd be nice if it was safe for work. No need to be shy. Everyone watching knows I'm absolutely hopeless when it comes to art, and I'm going to be drawing with you. Even if you aren't the best artist, and the plush arms slow you down, whatever you draw will look like a masterpiece next to me. I'm glad I could convince you. Now, I'm going to be drawing everyone's favourite ghost hunting cat, Jack-o'-lantern himself. For everyone worried on stream, Jack is in perfect health, but he won't be appearing tonight. A plush toy plus cat claws equals one unhappy ghost. I think I'll start with the ears. No? His cute little nose. Then I'll move out. In all honesty, I just wanted to say that so everyone watching would be primed into seeing a cat in my horrendous chicken scratch. Fortunately, it looks like you won't be needing that handicap, Wraith. Even in a possessed body, you're moving incredibly. I'm a little jealous, actually. I could never draw a curve that smooth. While I struggle to make some fur, I'd open my chat to its usual Q&A. Feel free to ask Wraith or I anything, and my mods will sort out the best prompts and send them over to me. And of course, Wraith, if anything makes you uncomfortable, you can simply pass. No questions asked. I'm thinking you can tap the paper twice to signal that, but whatever works best is fine. Ooh, great question. Yes, Wraith's temporary body is one of the haunted dolls that we brought a few episodes back. Great eye on that one. Ah, here's a question for you, Wraith. Are you a white-blue colorblind? Interesting. Rather odd for a wandering ghost, but I think that just makes you all the more special. Another question for you, Wraith. Can you go anywhere online, or are you just stuck in your chat rooms? Good for you. So many ghosts get stuck in one spot, but I think it'd be so much more fun to roam around a little. For dinner tonight, I'm going to be having some spaghetti, and knowing Jack, he'll probably be swiping a few of my meatballs in addition to his meal. Are you done drawing, Wraith? Wow, you really blew me out of the water. I'm not even half done. And I think Jack's portrait was going to turn out a bit lopsided. Oh well, he's a weird little guy. I think this suits him. I like your drawing. It's your Elsum, right? Well, it's very pretty. Maybe someday you'll tell us about it. But that is just about all the time we have tonight. Thank you to everyone for tuning in, and if you liked the video, nothing is more helpful than sharing it around. Have a spooky morning, evening or afternoon, and remember, never stop searching. Alright, that's the stream, Wraith. I'll leave the cameras rolling for post-stream footage, but that's edited, so no worries about any bloopers now. Thank you so much for joining me, I had a great time. I can imagine keeping a possessed form isn't the easiest thing you can be doing, so I'll plug you right back in, and you can head out of the door whenever you feel like. Oh, you recalled on your own. Nice. And good to know you weren't entirely reliant on my word. I'd hate to have a power imbalance at work. I tried to keep my relations with ghosts as friendly as possible, and, since we were streaming, I was driving the conversation pretty hard. So, is there anything you'd like to say to me before I go pull Jack out of whatever nonsense he's no doubt gotten himself into? Thank you. But really, it's the least I could do. You're a person too. You deserve a little civility. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'd really tried to campaign for a little tolerance of afterlife creatures, but I know that so many people can be more than a little rude. And I do want to apologize for the apparition observer. It's no excuse, but they've been under a lot of stress lately, and they took some of that out on you. No, you didn't do anything wrong. You were more than accommodating, an observer knows that. I'm sure if they watch my stream and realize you weren't just a program, they're going to feel awful. Not much consultation, I know, but it's something, right? Well, if it'd make you feel any better, I'm sure we could get you an apology too. Of course. In fact, we might be able to get that sooner rather than later. Well, you said you could leave the chat site, right? Right. Now, I don't want to profile you too hard, but generally, a ghost with no unfinished business, sticking around the mortal coil, talking to the living, appearing on shows, answering questions from a live stream, it's all the mark of a very social ghost. And I'd imagine you haven't got many opportunities for pleasant interaction, what with the average stigma. So, if you're up for it, I was going to play some games with Observer and a couple of our friends tonight. We'd love for you to join us. You could get your apology, make some new friends, and if you'd like to try your hand at it, we're desperately in need of a fifth for comp. That sounds lovely. I thought you could use my streaming PC and I could... Oh no. Jack must be getting bored of me ignoring him. I need to go make sure it wasn't something expensive. But I'll DM you again in a couple of hours if that's good with you. Sounds great. I can't wait for you to meet everyone. I'm sure we will... Right, Jack's being obnoxious. I almost forgot. Bye, Wraith. Glad to meet you. Jackson Oliver Lantern. If that was my new display case, I swear to God I will send you back to that cuddly orange hell that you crawled out of.